Hello, my name is Megan Searing-Young, and I'm the director of the Greenbelt Museum right here in Greenbelt, Maryland. Welcome to Women's History Month.
Hatshepsut was the first female ruler of Egypt to command the full authority of Pharaoh in the mid-1400s BCE. She is widely considered one of the most successful pharaohs and the first great woman of history whose story has been preserved. She undertook more building projects than any of her predecessors, and all but one of her successors, and she re-established trade routes which brought Egypt the most wealth of any dynasty to that point. Because of her controversial role as female pharaoh, her successor attempted to erase all evidence of her reign. However, the attempt to fully erase her name from history was unsuccessful when later scholars deciphered texts hidden from public view about her numerous accomplishments as pharaoh. Hypatia of Alexandria was a philosopher, astronomer, and mathematician from the Eastern Roman Empire in the mid-300s. She was the first famous female mathematician with a well-recorded history and was renowned for being a great teacher and wise counselor. At the time, Alexandria was becoming a cultural center to rival Athens, and Hypatia was attracting the best minds in math, science, philosophy, and many other disciplines. She was widely admired by both pagans and Christians alike, but religious tensions were coming to a fever pitch in the city. Rumors about her political allegiances spread, and in 415 CE, she was brutally murdered by a Christian mob. Her murder shocked the empire, and she became a martyr for philosophy. She has been used as a symbol for opposition to Christianity as well as a Christian symbol of virtue. In the 20th century, she became a symbol for women's rights and a precursor to the feminist movement. Her legacy continues to live on as what is known of her fascinating life continues to be adapted through novels, film, and television. Zetian was the only female emperor in the history of China. She reigned during the Tang dynasty in the late 600s CE and is considered one of the most effective and controversial rulers in China's history. She began her royal life as a concubine to the emperor, but she was also highly favored by his married son. Traditionally, upon an emperor's death, his concubines were sent to a nunnery to live out the rest of their days, but Zetian avoided this fate when the emperor's son took the throne and requested her back in the position of first concubine. She had 2 sons with the new emperor, and when their daughter died in her crib, she accused his wife and other concubine of murder. Zetian already held the power behind the throne before she officially took the title, but by the time her sons took the throne, she banished the first, forced the second to abdicate, and instated herself as emperor. As emperor, she established a system of informants to weed out ineffective officials and instated intellectuals in their place, regardless of their family status and connections. Though she has been depicted as a tyrant, her reforms were incredibly popular. She limited bureaucracy and took suggestions straight from the people. She improved the public education system, reformed the Department of Agriculture, the military and tax system, and reopened the Silk Road. However, she was ruthless towards her enemies and would banish or execute anyone she suspected of disloyalty. Her reign ended when she was a year from death and her son returned from exile. Emperor Zhongzhong's wife, using Wu as an example, became the true power behind her husband's throne, before being overthrown herself. Lagertha was a figure of Viking legend who existed during the 12th century. She was a shield maiden and ruler of what is now Norway. Her story was recorded in a book of Danish history by Saxo Grammaticus. According to his account, her career as a warrior began with the death of the Norwegian king Seward. The new king Fro sent all of the women of Seward's family to a brothel. Hearing of this, Ragnar Lodbrok came to avenge his death, while the women dressed in men's clothes to fight by his side. Key in his victory was Lagertha. She was said to have fought on the front lines among the bravest of Ragnar's forces, with her hair flowing loose over her shoulders. Ragnar was so taken with her that he asked for her hand in marriage. She had a bear and a hound guarding her home, and when he was able to slay both, she accepted his proposal. Despite getting a divorce, when Ragnar was in need of aid during a battle, Lagertha commanded a fleet of 120 ships to his side and saved the day for him with her counterattack. Upon returning to Norway, she argued with her new husband and slew him with a spearhead. She then assumed control of the whole kingdom, ruling Norway on her own. Izumi Shikibu was a writer, poet, and member of the Japanese court during the late 10th century in the Heian period. She is best known for her 242 poems written primarily in the waka style, and for her numerous love affairs that got her labeled a femme fatale. Her poetry was full of passionate tales of love, and she left a diary containing a third-person account of her love affair with the prince, written through a series of over 100 poems. Today, she is considered one of the foremost poets of the Heian period, and her work has been included in several imperial anthologies, as well as adapted into an opera. One dictionary of biography said of her work, Her poems are passionate and free, exploding with brilliance. The wealth of her imagination is like heavenly chargers coursing the void, and her freedom of expression is rare. She must be accounted the first poetess of our land.
Thanks for watching GATE. To find out more about the Greenbelt Museum, visit greenbeltmuseum.org. See you next time.